All right. There we go. Still getting everything set up. Okay. Get that going. And I see we've got some of you in already. That's wonderful. All right. Can everybody see and hear everything okay so far? Okay, so I know there were some more people that were still going to be showing up, so I'm going to give it just another minute before I share my screen and we get started. Okay, so I'm kind of working off of two screens here, so if you see me turning a lot, that's why. But excuse me. So, yay! Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. I know we still had quite a few more that had signed up. Kind of waiting for them to show. You guys can see so far and hear everything okay? No problems? With this technology, you just never know. It works 1 minute, the next, not so much. Okay. All right, well, we have a lot to cover. And we got about, I think, an hour's time that they allot. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This one. Okay, can you guys see it all right? Okay. I want to make sure I have this here and I have this available so I can see what's going on. I want to be able to see the chat. So, okay. So welcome. if you have your microphone on currently, please could you mute it so we don't have any distractions? Let's see. Thank you. And I think Cheryl, your microphone is still on. Can you mute that, please? Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so welcome. Let's get started to what can I safely eat with CKD? So right off the bat, I want to thank you for joining. And if you guys want to, let me know, where are you guys at? Where are you from? I have no idea where everybody's at. I'm up in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. So we got some, snow, but we got rain. We got all kinds of crud going on up here. So it's interesting. Anybody want to share where they're from? Okay, if not, that's
Midland City.
Can you type it in chat, please? Oh, awesome. I've got friends in there. Oh, yay. Oh, you guys, I have friends in almost all of those locations. That's awesome. I love it. Oh, wow. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. So make sure that you stay until the end to receive a selection of 3 bonus recipes as a big thank you for attending this presentation today. Okay. All right, let's go. Those are the 3 ones. Look in the, oh, you'll get to have that. I'll give you the link to download it. Okay, so what can I safely eat with CKD? When we try to answer this with this question, the biggest thing that is going to help you answer it, excuse me, it's food lists. That's what it really comes down to. You just got to have the right kind of food lists, right? Otherwise, you have no idea what you're working with or what you can work with or what you're doing. So safely eating with CKD, it really depends on a lot of factors like your labs, your stage that you're in. If you have other health issues, even if you have, somebody in the family who has their own dietary requirements, maybe for their other health issues and such. So there really isn't like a one size fits all with CKD eating. And so you need to know what those top food choices are for you, and also how to incorporate that with maybe your family's needs. So my promise to you is that by the end of this presentation, you will understand what information to possess to clarify your top food choices, incorporate more variety, work with other health issues, and more by removing the confusion, frustration, and limitations, and take one of the first steps to simplify your kidney diet and make it much easier. So let's see, where are you currently? Hey, that didn't move. There we go. It moved the wrong way. Where are you currently at? So maybe you're still trying to figure out the best food options for your kidney diet. You're completely frustrated with all the conflicting information that you keep finding. You're unsure of how much of an ingredient you can safely use in your dish. You're craving variety. You're missing your favorite foods. You aren't sure how much, I forgot to click, sorry. You're missing your favorite foods. You aren't sure what or how much of an ingredient you can sub in, say, for those Brussels sprouts that your kids hate, right? You need to add more flavor, but you don't know the best seasonings to use. You're unaware of those odd ingredients that you need to consider that people usually don't. And you simply don't have the time to figure all of this out. So is any of this true for you guys? You can type 1 for yes or 2 for no. Probably several things, right? A lot of ones coming up. So you're probably several different combinations of these, right? Okay. So you want answers. You have specific needs. You want to know what your top food choices are so you can focus on them. You can feel assured that you're doing the best you can for your kidneys. You want clarity so you can stop living in confusion about whether or not you can safely eat a specific food. You want to know exactly how much of an ingredient you can use in your dish so you get the most nutrition, but still stay within your restrictions. You want variety, and you're sick of working with that teeny tiny small little list of foods, and you're running out of interesting ways to combine them, right? And you're just dying for more variety. You want to have your favorite foods again. You miss having them, and you want to know, can I somehow sneak it back in there, right? So you need to understand those odd ingredients. You probably haven't given much thought to some of those because nobody really thinks about them, but things like baking powder and xanthan gum and yeast, all of these little things actually contribute to the nutritional value, but people just don't really think about them, right? And you need to. So let's see, you need to know how to make safe substitutions. Now, this was huge when we started out. We really, really needed to know. And you kind of find yourself just swirling, not knowing, right? You want to remove this ingredient, but you just don't know like what you can sub in that is going to work with the flavors of the dish. And then when you do figure something out, you're like, well, how much can I use? Right? You're like, I'm really not even sure because this one has this much potassium, but does this one have that much? You just don't know. So you're not sure how much to use. And then the simple act of seasoning. Oh my gosh, it's just not easy when salt's off the table, right? You need to know your options. So when people give you that crappy advice, and I hate it, when they tell you, well, if you can't use salt, just use seasonings. That's not helping. Hello. Nobody knows that information right off the top of their head, right? I mean, for Pete's sake, I'm a chef, and I tend to forget, like, well, wait, now did that work with that? I can't remember. I have to actually go back and look in my sheets and go, yeah, that totally does work. Because there's so many out there, you can't remember them all. So you need to know like what spices and seasonings are going to work best with which foods. And you need to stop wasting all that precious kidney time searching for the answers online to all of these issues, right? Does this sound about right? Type 1 for yes and 2 for no. I'm sure, I mean, you guys, we've been through it, so I'm sure you are dealing with it or you dealt with it. Yep. Yes. So, yep, I'm hitting on some stuff here. You guys are like, oh my God, yeah. Okay, let's go right here. So first of all, I'm going to tell you right now that it is absolutely not your fault that you are struggling with trying to figure out this diet. The food lists that are out there and the information that is available, it isn't reliable and it isn't clear. It isn't extremely helpful, right? So what are, let's see, how do I say this? Basically what you are finding and what you're relying on right now, it's outdated and it doesn't take into consideration like all the personalized nuances of the kidney diet. So I really can't stress this enough that the kidney diet is highly personalized. It's going to look and eat differently for each person because everybody has, different needs. They have different health issues, different labs, again, all these little things, all these nuances are going to come into play. And that's what defines the specific diet for you. Okay. So despite seeing all, the medical professionals and getting their advice, or, not getting advice, which I hear quite often from people, and despite all your searching online, you're still struggling with what foods you can actually eat. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. Okay. Most medical professionals and most websites are not up to date on the newest research and findings. So therefore, with it being out of date, you're going to end up with conflicting information. That's why you're finding so much of it, because these guys have got something up from 1992. These guys have something that's maybe from 2008, and they're saying different things. There's so many studies always going on, even just food studies and testing and those kinds of things, that new information is constantly coming out and they're revising things. So that's why when you're going online and you're searching and trying to find the right kind of food lists and what can you trust, it's impossible, because that's why you're getting that conflicting information. You're not going to get that clarity that you need. And I mean, you can get it, you can, do a whole lot of digging like I did until you can find the truth. That's going to take quite a while. But anyways, I digress. So let's see. What I also want to let you know is that when you're dealing with searching online for things, finding the locations that you trust most. I'm going to just say it right now off the bat. I'm partial to American Kidney Fund, not just because I worked with them, but because they are constantly working through new studies and keeping up to date on stuff. Not everything, I know, because I like I said, I work with them, but they're one of the top resources that I do use quite often. So just a little tip. Okay. So anyways, as far as this conflicting information goes, it's frustrating, isn't it? So frustrating. I remember when we started this out, I was looking at all this information and I was writing out these lists. Okay, okay, not okay, maybe okay, right? And I would come across the information, I'd write it on there, okay. And then I'd come across another thing and I'd be like, wait, it's not okay. Oh, and I'm scratching it off the list. And then I'm reading something else and they're like, oh, wait, no, it really is okay if this, okay, so I'm writing it. What happens? You end up in this huge, like, downward spiral. You just feel completely hopeless. And you end up with just these huge question marks, like, can I have it? Can I not? I don't even know anymore, right? So yeah, what we did is we just pretty much chose to avoid anything that had that big question mark on it that we just didn't know for sure. And that ended up with us having a very, very small little list of foods that we felt safe to work with, right? I just remember looking at this list and thinking, yeah, there's only so many ways I can combine these foods before I run out of options. So it just didn't look so good. It wasn't very, a happy time for us. So basically what happened is I wasn't willing to settle on the limited number of foods on that teeny tiny little lists. And I'm going to tell you right now, we were not willing to give up our favorites. Have you guys? I know it's pretty common. 1 for yes, 2 for no. You guys have given up like your favorite foods? Is there stuff you're missing? Or if you want to type the food, go ahead, share what it is. Yes. Glenn, you have a question. You want to go ahead, unmute and ask?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure this thing out. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I've got hypertension.
Mm-hmm.
I've got high potassium.
Yeah.
I'm a I'm a type 1 diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm lost in this thing.
Yes.
Um,
Oh,
and
I
and
feel you.
I'm just trying to figure this thing out. I'm stage 3 kidney failure, and
Mhm.
I need a cookbook, or I need a chef at my house, but I'm just trying to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Oh, okay. Well, let me, and I know
yeah,
I
go.
posted this in the group, as far as, a lot of people say that, they're looking for cookbooks and that kind of thing. Most of the information that is out there is usually geared towards stage 3, as far as like recipes and all that kind of stuff. It's the largest group that's out there. And so that's mostly what you're going to find. So if you're not a stage 3, that means adjustments are going to have to be made up or down to fit those recipes. And on top of that, if you have other health issues, which, most people do, that means more adjusting. And,
Okay.
like if with being a diabetic, you have to lower the carbs in some of those recipes. You're not going to be like, yeah, I'm totally making this fettuccine tonight, right? So you have to, figure out how to adapt those recipes. And that's a big component. And that's really kind of a whole nother presentation that I'll have to do.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. We have, yes, Miss Taste. Cheryl, you missed the I'm assuming you're talking about flavorful foods, like since you can't use a salt and you need that seasoning or something, right? That was, yeah, that was a big one for us. Okay, let's see, where are we at? I'm trying to check all my notes here to make sure I'm covering everything for you guys. There we go. Okay, so let's head on over here. So this is kind of like, well, what we're just talking about right here, right, guys? This is the dream. You want a simplified and easy kidney diet. You want to have all the information. You want to have all those answers that you need. You want to have those complete food lists at your fingertips so you can reference them whenever you need to. You want to know how to substitute ingredients easily and for best flavors. And again, this goes, right back to, what we were just talking about with Glenn, the fact that you are going to have to substitute. There's not recipes out there that are going to fit you 100%, right? You don't want to worry about that conflicting information anymore. You just want clarity. You just want the truth, right? You want to understand the nutritional importance of an extreme amount of ingredients, because you have to have that basic understanding of, the nutrition of foods. You don't have to know the specifics, but you need to know a basic so you know what you're dealing with. And excuse me, you want to save time, right? You're probably wasting a lot of time just sitting here online. What can I find? What golden nugget, right? I know exactly. Oh, so is any of this you? Type 1 for yes and 2 for no. I know I got to keep you guys involved. I don't want you sitting there just like, oh, okay. Let me know. Yes, yes. Okay, so, these are all things that we wanted to. We've been down this road, completely understand how frustrated and confused you are. You could be scared, angry, maybe feeling hopeless when it comes to this kidney diet. Oh God, we've been there. Oh, I know exactly where you are, and I feel for you because I know how horrible that feels, and it's just awful, and I want to get you out of that. Okay. All right, so I think most of you know me, but for those that don't, I'm Linda Blaylock, And I'm a chef honors graduate from Escoffier Culinary School of Arts. I'm a certified nutritionist and kidney health coach. I am the creator of the How to Eat for CKD method. And I was a culinary consultant for American Kidney Fund for years, where I tested and created recipes. I provided informational webinars, blah, 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 cooking demonstrations, as well as providing dietary advice and education for their blog. If you want to do a search for Kidney Kitchen, American Kidney Fund, you can do so. And if you go into, I believe it's on the right side where it says collections, you can choose my name, and a bunch of the recipes that I created will come up, and they do cycle through seasons. So check back so that way you can, get a large variety. But definitely check those. And again, like I mentioned when with Glenn, that they are geared towards stage 3, but I tried to give those suggestions that if you're not stage 3, how you can adjust them or sub out ingredients. Okay. So make sure you check those out if you're looking for some really good recipes. And I also work with dietitians to help their clients achieve their dietary success. And I am the caregiver to my husband, who is diagnosed with stage 3 CKD. And we have managed to keep his numbers stable this entire time. Yay, right? Okay. So let's moving on. So now that you know a little bit about me. So, excuse me. So you've probably had the same ideas that we did. We thought that there were answers out there. We thought we could find the help that we needed. We thought we could ask the professionals to, show us what to do. And instead we found confusion and a whole lot of expenses. Okay. We saw the nutritionist, and she gave us 3 recipes, said, here's your restriction numbers, be on your way. That doesn't tell us how to do anything, how to work anything, right? Oh, whatever. They could have just emailed us that information, I'm telling you. But this is, well, I could create a meal plan for you. Okay, how much is that going to cost? Oh, okay, never mind, right? Because then there's follow-up visits. That it was a mess. So yeah, we were met with a whole lot of confusion and a whole lot of expenses. It was not really a happy time. It's not what you want to hear when you're newly diagnosed. Okay, so I'm going to share another secret with you. It's a truth. Doctors have no clue at all how to work the kidney diet. Okay. They only know the medical side of it. All right. The dietitians aren't going to tell you how to make the changes to those recipes or how to create any recipes for yourself. No, instead, they want to do it for you. And you know what that involves. Like I just said, a lot of returning appointments. Even with insurance, you're looking at the copays that are constantly revolving. A lot of people, I have a lot of clients that just cannot afford those copays. So, they aren't going to show you how they created that meal plan for you. And they're not going to show you how to do those super simple adjustments to those recipes so that they fit your needs. They're not going to. Usually what they're going to do is just give you those, maybe some limited food lists, some basic food lists, and tell you, what foods maybe to avoid, right? So now you're stuck. You're limited by the little bit of information that they tossed at you. Has anybody been through this? Have you had that experience too? Type 1 for yes, 2 for no. I know there's a lot of people that haven't even bothered to see a nutritionist to get their restriction numbers too, because they simply cannot afford that. So yeah, it's not a happy place to be in. Okay. So basically, you know, you do the search, you go online, try to see what you can figure out yourself, but it didn't provide any sort of clarity or answers. There was differing advice from so many people and so many sources that it just made it harder. So I became determined to figure it out myself. Okay, I went to culinary school. I went to more school for nutrition, and then that's when I did my internship with American Kidney Fund. They brought me on as a consultant, and through my experience of creating and testing those recipes for them, a process was revealed to me, and I noticed the patterns that were happening, and I was collecting an enormous amount of information. Okay. And this was pretty much the turning point. This is where I was able to start piecing together the insane CKD puzzle. And let me share with you what I found. There are 4 major concepts for CKD eating, okay? And these flow quite nicely. So, first of all, you have to have those extensive and thorough food lists to help guide you. And it's with those food lists, they need to go beyond just telling you like how much phosphorus is in a half a cup of bran cereal that you're never going to eat, right? So yes, we need to have more than what we're finding online. You need to know what your base guideline numbers, meal and snack numbers are, and how to shift them when you're meal planning. Now, base guideline meal and snack numbers are something that we work with in my program to simplify the meal planning process. And it pretty much assures that each meal is going to push your nutrition to the max, but it's also going to safely allow you to have, you know, snacks and desserts too. And it's going to show you how you can have one of those indulgent meals, but still keep within your restrictions for that day. And I am sure, excuse me, like we've discussed, that you've come across where you maybe hate an ingredient or you cannot have an ingredient. You need to remove it and you need to make that substitution, and you have to replace it with something. And this is only one component of adapting those meals to your needs and dietary preferences, but it is a very important one. So as you make those changes to recipes, and when you do so, you want to be sure that you're maxing out your nutrition, because we're already reducing those nutrients and we need to make sure we're getting the maximum amount. And you want to make sure you're building flavors, right? So what happens is, as you do this, as you're adapting these recipes to your specific needs and preferences, this even works if you're like vegan or gluten-free or lower carb, any of them. You're going to end up with an arsenal of recipes that you've tailored to your own specific needs, and this is going to make meal planning extremely easy. Okay, so for today, we'll briefly touch on the concepts. So again, these food lists are going to help guide you if you have them categorized, and you know, these are the ones to work with most often, a little less often, sparingly. That's going to be extremely, extremely helpful. Okay. And we touched on the base guideline numbers, and that's a big thing that I don't want to get too involved in, because this is, like I said, that's probably a whole nother presentation, but just being aware of it. It's something you need to know and to have in order to make meal planning really easy. And that's the key to enjoying your favorite foods, incorporating variety, all of those fun things. Okay, so let's shift over. So yes, with the adapting, it's extremely important, especially when you have those other dietary issues, like with Glenn, having diabetes, you need to do a lower carb diet. You have to be able to find those recipes and say, okay, this sounds really good, but I need to remove the pasta. How can I do this? You know, if I want to use, say, rice cauliflower, how much can I use, right? You need to be able to work with that. And you should have lists that show you how to do that or spell it out and make it easy for you to make that substitution. Okay. And again, when you build that arsenal of recipes, it makes things so much easier. It becomes, you know, I want this, this, and this week. Make grocery list, boom, you're done. You go shopping. That's it. And that's the point we'd like to get you to. You know, it's kind of, it's where you were before CKD. Let's get you back to that, right? But again, this is, you know, this is stuff that we're going to cover down the lines. I just wanted to make you aware of this information. Okay. So, excuse me, for this presentation, we're going to focus on the food lists, okay? Because that's your very first thing you're going to need right off the bat. So what are the benefits that we're looking at? I mean, what are these food lists? Why are they so important? What are they really, you know, going to do for you? Okay, well, what they should provide you with is first and foremost, your top food choices, right? So let's jump back to that half a cup of like bran cereal that nobody ever eats. I mean, is that something you really need to know when you're looking at that on a list? Is that really helpful to you in any way? Not really, right? So knowing that your top food options means you have more control. It means you can work with bigger portions. It means you get familiar with those top food options and those base ingredients that you can use in your dish. And it also helps you to bulk, excuse me, bulk up those meals, right? Okay. And these lists have to clear up that confusion. They cannot be conflicting. So we need to have them categorized from low to extremely high. And that way you can zoom in on those lower nutrient foods. So that way when, you know, you need to sub something, or if you're piling your veggies high onto your salad, you know what you can use. And so you're keeping your nutrients lower. Then when those nutrients are lower, if you're using a lower nutrient food, often that means you can use a little bit more, right? Excuse me. So if we take, you know, and use those lower nutrient vegetables, now maybe you can have several different toppings on that salad instead of, you know, just having 3, right? So we can have more. We're building that bulk. Okay, your list should help you to determine safe amounts that you can use in your recipes. It kind of falls in line with that categorized that we just talked about, but the lists that are available that maybe you're working with don't take other medical information into consideration. For example, nutrient absorption varies depending on the foods, and your lists should reflect that. So you can better gauge the nutrition. And this also helps when you want to remove an ingredient and sub something in that's lower. Maybe it's in a different food group entirely. You have options, you know, maybe if you need to remove those Brussels sprouts, but you don't want to, you know, toss in another veggie, or maybe the potassium's hitting a little high, sub in a grain. You need to know which grain you could use, you know, can I throw in, I gotta have a 1/4 cup of barley, right? I mean, you know, you need to have that option. You need to know what that is. So, and if you look at it, and that recipe it just isn't making a big enough portion. And believe me, when we started out in recipes, we found we were starving. We literally had one recipe I had to test. It said it served, what was it? I think it was like, it serves 4. And it literally said, for more servings, add more water. This is the crap that's out there. I'm not kidding. This was online. Okay, great. I'll just drink my way to be full. So I'll be hungry in another 20 minutes, right? It irritated me so bad. It really did. Okay, so what you need to do is have a list that's going to show you how you can add bulk, how you can bulk up them meals so you're filling up those tummies. Okay. And the big one, variety. If you have lists that are only this big or only showing you the most common foods, that's what you're stuck with, right? We're back to that again. You're stuck, you're limited to what information you have. You have to have lists that show you as many foods as possible, maybe even foods that you're not even aware of. Okay. It opens up so much variety that's available to you. And believe me, when I was putting together my list, I'm not kidding. There was foods that came up. I'm like, I had to research that. I was like, I have never heard of this. Somebody somewhere eats it. So, I put it in my list because, oh my God, it's just kind of crazy. The amount of variety you can actually have. Excuse me. And again, this, we touched on this a little bit too, where we are dealing with, thickeners, baking soda, yeast, xanthan gum, all those odd little ingredients that nobody really thinks about have that nutritional value that they should be on your lists. You should know if you can use it. Most people aren't aware that, especially like with vegan, nutritional yeast, big potassium there, but you can definitely work with it, right? We use it to make our, nacho cheese popcorn seasoning. You can use it. You need to be aware that it falls under, this high category. So that means, okay, I can use it, not in amounts I could of something in a low category, right? I hope this is making sense for you guys. Okay. So, safe substitutions. Of course, I talk a lot about this because it is so very important, because it always happens. You're going to come up to a recipe and you're going to have to swap something out. It is so very important. And that's why when I had put together my lists, I went and made like an entire 2-pager that was like, okay, well, my kids don't like Brussels sprouts. What in the heck can I use? And I had to list out what my options were, because I didn't want to go back and search for that answer every time. Oh, great. They don't. Here we go again. What can I use again? I just started making lists. So that way I could jump in there and be like, oh, okay. Oh, hey, I got that in my freezer. So much easier, right? Okay. And another important, oh, we went backward one, didn't we? Why does it do that? You got your little, there we go. Okay. Seasoning, right? People are like, I have no idea what goes on my chicken. I don't know what to put in this dish. I can't use salt. What am I supposed to do? Oh, it was such a pain when we started this. Lists again, lists. I didn't know either. And I started creating lists. Chicken, I can use all of these options, right? Asparagus, I can use all of these options. So I put that together. And so that way I've said, okay, well, I'm having, Mediterranean chicken. I've got asparagus and chicken. I can actually look at both lists and go, oh, that works for both ingredients even. Hey, done. So I knew what I could use, right? It's so helpful to have that kind of information. So you want to make seasoning so much easier. Okay. Oh, I got easy seasoning on here twice. Oh my gosh. Well, that's not quite right. That should say save time. Okay. Most of all these lists are there to help you save time. Stop searching, stop wasting all that precious kidney time. Stop wondering, well, what am I going to sub into this recipe tonight so I can make it? Have it available at your fingertips. Boom, done. Okay. All right. So you guys tell me, pick a number. Where do your lists right now, where do they measure up? Do they list the common foods? Are they conflicting? Are they not real life user friendly? Any of these, read through these quickly and, hit a number. Tell me which ones, or maybe it's several. It could be several for you. Go ahead and, pop in the chat what's going on, where you're at with your lists. Okay. you'll head on over. So here's the common struggles, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. You know, you researched online, you got conflicting food items, still didn't find any clarity with all that searching. You wanted to use a new ingredient, but didn't know if you could or how much. You wanted to add flavor, no idea what to use. When you went shopping, you stared at the enormous amounts of products available when you walk in the store, right? No idea what you can use, right? It's like, I'm not even sure what's safe, what's right. Maybe you have allergies, sensitivities. It's very common. Picky eaters within the home, other health issues, or maybe your spouse or children have dietary requirements. You don't want to make 2 meals. And believe me, I know plenty of people that actually have been doing that. And you just don't know what's best to eat, okay? So you need those complete food lists. I know you guys, I keep saying this, but this is the honest to God's truth. This is where it starts with the information. You have to have complete food lists that cover all of the food groups, that are giving you, lists of as many foods as possible. Even those ingredients that you don't think about. You need lists that eliminate all that confusion, all that conflicting information. They need to be categorized by their nutrient amounts so you know what to focus on, and you need lists that help you determine the amounts to safely use in your dish. Excuse me. They should provide you with the best substitutions based on, nutrients and flavors of your dish. They should tell you the best seasonings to use with each of your foods. These lists should open your eyes to the options that are actually available to you, that variety. And these lists are basically, going to stop you from wasting all that time searching online for answers. So wouldn't you rather be able to work easily with food allergies, with sensitivities, with picky eaters? Combine your kidney diet with the demands from your other health issues. That's a big one for people. Make one meal that's going to satisfy everybody and meet all their needs. Know what foods are your best options to focus on and enjoy them as safe snacks too. Easily sub those ingredients with something you do like. Take any recipe, flip it. So it's vegan, it's gluten-free, or it's lower carb, or it's dairy-free, or it's vegetarian. Add bulk to those small portioned meals to fill the tummies and incorporate your favorite foods, that variety, right? These are things you want, right, guys? Right? You can type 1 for yes and 2 for no. You got the hang of it. You know what's going on. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys, the reason you showed up here is because you want to learn how to successfully eat for CKD without that struggling, the frustration, and the fear. Okay. You want to have your top food choices available for quick reference. You want variety, you want your favorite foods, and you want to understand what you need and what the tricks are to make kidney friendly eating easier. Say that 5 times. Okay. If you're in the Facebook group, you probably already had seen some of the posts I had done recently, and one of them was a big thing about those nutrients, and hopefully you guys downloaded the PDF on those, okay? Step 1, you have to understand why those nutrients are important and why you're limiting them. Some people really don't care. That's fine. They're just like, yeah, okay, this, fine, whatever. Us, I had to know why. I'm like, why? What makes this so good or bad? Or I had to know, right? And so for those of you that do, make sure you downloaded that PDF in the group. So step 2, here we are. You got nutrients. Now we're at food lists. With any dietary change, there is a wealth of information that you have to know to safely and easily work the kidney diet. This is with any diet, but is extremely important with the kidney diet, right? Okay, I'm gonna let you know that you can achieve these goals, okay? You can do this. Now, you guys are here, excuse me, because it's time. You guys are ready. You're like, I can't take this anymore. I need to have these answers. I know that feeling. I feel ya. So, you know, you need to get that clarity, enjoy the foods, you know, all these things that we've talked about. These are the things that, you know, you're ready. I need to stop wasting so much time, all of it. You want to move forward with making the kidney diet easier. So at the start of this presentation, I had made this promise to you, right? So, excuse me, if your lists aren't doing all of these things that I've mentioned, then there's some work there that needs to be done. Okay, I have to nudge you to get to work on compiling all of these and getting a hold of them. Your kidneys will thank you. So the question, what can I safely eat with CKD? The answer simply is what you can eat is only limited by the knowledge and information that you possess. With complete, comprehensive, and extensive categorized information, you can safely eat almost any food with CKD. Okay. Now, hang in there. Okay. Hang in there a second, because I'm going to share that bonus with you, the 3 recipes. Okay. I'm going to put a link into the chat for you to grab it. All right. But first, I want to let you know here's what you can do. Excuse me. Begin by taking the time to create those lists. It's going to be, you know, a lot of digging, a lot of research. You can do it. I did it. You don't want to do it? You can absolutely jump on over to my website and grab my lists. Absolutely can. They are quite extensive, and they are filled with a lot of additional information on foods too, because that knowledge comes in quite handy. But it's an option. I'm not going to push you and say you have to do it. You are absolutely welcome to put together your lists, but that's your starting point. You have to have the right information, full lists, in order to start executing this diet. Okay. You're not going to succeed. Well, let me say this. You haven't been succeeding very well with the information that you currently have, right? Or you wouldn't be here. So you now know what you're going to need to do, what kind of information your food lists are going to have to contain for you to make this work. Okay. Like I said, I put these lists together because this is the stuff that we went through. This is the stuff that kept coming up over and over. I just started documenting it. This is how I realized what was absolutely necessary for this diet. Okay. So feel free to jump on over to the website. You can email me with any questions. You know, if you're not a part of the Facebook group, you can absolutely join. And I'm always on Facebook Messenger. Okay. So I just want to let you know that. Okay, let me double check that I have covered everything I wanted to cover for you guys here. Okay, yes, that's right. You ready? Drum roll, anybody? I can't do it. Okay, look it. I want to tell you, just for you, you're in the know. You're the first to know. Okay, guys. All right. To make this program that I created way more affordable, because online programs are really expensive to run. I'm going to tell you that right now. Whew. I'm releasing 2 books very soon. Okay, I know a lot of people have asked about them. The first book, which should be available within a week or so, maybe sooner. I'm waiting on the review part right now. It's going to give you part 1 of the program, all the extensive food lists. Crazy, crazy. We're talking, oh, what is it? 300 pages? Yeah, for real. Okay. It's going to start you right at those nutrients, and it's going to take you all the way through all of the food lists, and it is including those alternative diets, lower carb, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, all of it, non-dairy. It's going to be in there. Okay, this is that first section, the basic foundational information that you need to have to start executing the diet. So I'm just letting you know, so you know that it is going to be available. Nobody else knows. I have not told anybody. So you guys are kind of, you know, you got the 411. The second book will probably be out, I don't know, few months. I'm working on it. I'm trying. And my cookbook, oh, you guys, the cookbook takes a long time to do, a really long time. You know, I I'm getting there. I'm hoping before the end of the year. But until then, like I said, that Kidney Kitchen website I mentioned, you can get my recipes that I created there off of there too. You can give them a try. Okay, let's see. I wanted to make sure that I've got everything. Okay. Yoink. Boom. All right, check, guys. Ready? I am going to put these links into the chat right now. And you go ahead and do any of the clicking you want to do. All right, copy. Now I'm giving you my website information. So that way, if you wanted to check it out, if you aren't part of the Facebook group, I'm giving you the link and I'm giving you the bonus recipes link and a review form if you want to fill it out and just let me know, how I did with this. Okay. Now you can catch this on a replay. I'm going to, it's being recorded. That way I'm going to save it. And then that way you guys, if you want to see it again, I can get you the link. You can review it and walk through it again. Okay. So that is, I really hope you enjoy those 3 recipes too. Oh, I went backward again. I don't know when it is forward. I see the little arrow now. All right, so thank you guys so much for being here today. I know I can really get to talking about stuff, and that's just because I'm really so passionate about it. Okay, I completely understand what it takes to make this work, the kind of information you need, and I'm just so excited to be able to share it with people and let them know how I can help you and what you need to do. And some people are fine to go through and they'll create these lists themselves. That's absolutely fine. Do it. It's an amazing process to go through and so much that you discover. If you're like, dude, I got 3 kids, a dog, and a full-time job, ain't gonna have it, then go ahead and feel free to, grab mine. Or, if you want to, you can wait for the book. The full set of food sheets that I offer, okay, that's currently on my site. Once the book comes out, that's going to be taken down. It doesn't contain all of the information that's going to be in the book. It just has the basics, okay? If that's something you just want to get right now, go for it and do it, go ahead. Okay, but if you want more information, like stuff that's going to include like the low carb and the vegan, vegetarian, the nutrients, all that, then make sure, go ahead and grab that book. Like I said, it's in review. As soon as they approve it, we should be good to go and it'll go live. And I'll make a post about it in the Facebook group. So, but yay, you guys at least know firsthand. It's something that, you can, you can be excited about. Okay, so I hope you guys did all the click-ins of the stuff that you needed in here. You got the bonuses. Did anybody click and did the link work? I want to make sure everything you got what you need before we skedaddle, because we've only got like a minute or so before this is going to shut us down. Can't get the recipes. Okay. Let me try clicking, see what it comes up with. Okay. Hang on. I think I know what I did. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know what? I uploaded the wrong thing. That's my bad. That's my bad, guys. Everybody send me an email. I'm sorry to do this to you. Linda@howtoeatforckd.com. Send me an email and I'll get it over to you. Or when I post, when this video is ready, I could send it to you. I can send you the video with all the links, whichever you want to do. It might be easier if you guys just email me right now, so I have you in my inbox and I know to get this to you. I'm really sorry about that. I uploaded the wrong thing. I've been busy. Please, please. Again, Linda at howtoeatforckd.com. Okay. Can I type it in the chat? Will it actually work like a link? I don't even know. I'm glad we found this out though, and we didn't take off beforehand. See if you can copy that or something and do that. Okay. Do you guys then have everything that you need? So I know. Okay. You know, yeah. Oh, that's so hard. Okay, they're gonna boot us off in any minute. So thank you guys so much for coming. And please, please, please shoot me that email so I can get the recipes to you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to tease you like this. Okay. Okay. So you guys are very, very welcome. Thank you so, so very much. Okay. You guys have a really good day. I'll see you in the group.